Alright, continuing, we're going to try to finish up the 2016 Emergency Response Guide, Orange Papers Guide, the Orange Guide Guidelines. Carbon monoxide refrigerated liquid. Guide 168, fire. Do not extinguish leaking gas fire unless the leak can be stopped. Small fire, dry chemical CO2, water spray. Large fire, water spray, fog, regular foam. Move containers, fire area if you can do that with risk. Fire involved with the tanks, fire from maximum distance. I use unmanned hose holders, monitor nozzle, cool containers, flooding quantities with water until well after fire is out. Do not direct water source of the leak of safety devices. Icing may occur, withdrawing immediately in case of rising sound, venting safety devices, discoloration of tank. Always stay away from tanks engulfed in fire. Spill lake, eliminate ignition sources, no sparking flares, sparks, flames available to immediate air, all equipment used for the handling of the product to the ground, and fill encapsulation vapor product can warn spills and leakings, no fire. Do not touch, walk through spilled material, stock leak if you can do without risk. Use water spray to reduce vapors, to revert vapor cloud drift allowed, avoid allowing water runoff to contain spilled material. Do not direct water or spill source leak. If possible, turn leaking containers over the gas escape rather than liquid. Prevent entry with the waterways, sewers, basements, confined areas, isolate area until the gas is dispersed. Alright, first aid. Ensure medical personnel are aware of the material involved with the take precaution to protect themselves. Move victim, fresh air, call 911 emergency medical service. Give artificial respiration. Victim is not breathing. Administrative oxygen. Breathing difficult. Remove the isolated with contaminated clothing and shoes. Okay for the contact substance. Immediately flush skin, eyes with running water for at least 20 minutes. Okay for the contact liquefied gas. No, thermal frosted part lukewarm. Keep victim calm and warm. Keep victim under observation. Eyes contact with inhalation may be delayed. 168. Aluminum molten. Potential height of the fire explosion. Substance and transported molten in the form temperature at 1300 degrees Fahrenheit. Molten reaction with water. Contact may cause explosion. Produce flammable gas. Will ignite combustible materials. Contact with nitrates. Other oxides may cause explosion. Contact with containers. Other materials including cold, wet, dirty tools may cause an explosion. Contact with the concrete will cause spalling and small pops. Health can cause severe burns to skin and eyes. Fire producing irritating toxic gases. Public safety. Call emergency telephone number. Should be paid with the first. Shipping paper is not available. They refer to and the appropriate telephone number listed in the back of the cover. Immediately precautionary measures. Isolate spill leak area up to 150 feet in all directions. Stay upwind, uphill, and upstream. Keep unauthorized personnel away and ventilated in closed spaces before entering. Protective clothing. Wear positive pressure, self-contained breathing apparatus, flame retardant, structural firefighting protective clothing. Include face shield, helmets, gloves, as well as provide limited thermal protection. Hard aluminum molten emergency response fire. Do not use water except for the light threatening situation, then only in the fine spray. Do not use halogen extinguishers against agents or foam. Move combustible out of path advancing pool if it can do without risk. Extinguish fires started with a molten material using appropriate method of burning material. Keep the water, halogen, and extinguishing agents, foam away from molten material. Spill or leak. Do not touch or walk through spilled materials. Do not attempt to stop leak due to danger of explosives. Explosion. Keep combustibles away from spilled material. Substance vary. Liquid spreads quickly and may splash. Do not try to stop with shovels or other objects. Dike far ahead of the spill. Use dry sand to contain the flow of the material. Where impossible, allow molten material to solidify naturally. Avoid contact even after the material solidifies. Molten heated and cold aluminum look alike. Do not touch unless you know it's cold. Clean up under supervision and expert materials are solidified. Alright, ensure medical personnel are aware of the material involved with the precaution, protect themselves, move with fresh victim to fresh air, call 911, give the artificial respiration, victim is not breathing, administrate oxygen if breathing is difficult. For severe burns, immediately medical attention is required. Remove solidified molten material from the skin requires medical assistance. Remove isolated contaminated clothing and shoes and give the contact substance. Immediately flush skin and eyes with running water for at least 20 minutes. Keep victim calm and warm. Alright, Guide 170. Metals, power, dust, shaving, the borings, turning, and cutting, etc. Potential fire. May react violently exposed with contact water. Some transported flammable liquids may be ignited. Friction, heat, spark, flames. Some of these materials will burn. Intense heat. Dust fumes may be exposure to the mixture of the air. Containers may explode when heated. May reignite with the fire is extinguished. Health. Oxidized metallic fires are severe health hazard. Inhalation, contact substance, decomposition products may severe injure or death. Fire may produce irritating, corrosive, toxic gases. Run off with the fire control dilution. Water may cause cause pollution. Public safety. Call emergency telephone number. Shipping paper. The first shipping paper is not available to no answer. Refer to the appropriate telephone number listed inside cover. back cover. Immediate precautionary measures: isolate spill leak area directions at least 150 feet with liquid, 75 for solids. Stay upwind, uphill, and upstream. Keep unauthorized personnel away. Protective clothing, wear pressure positive, self-contained breathing apparatus. Structural firefighters, protective clothing will only provide limited protection. Large spill, consider initial downward evacuation of 160 feet. If a tank or rail car, tank or truck is involved, isolate 1/2 mile in all directions. Also consider initial evacuation of 1/2 mile in all directions. Alright, metal, dust, shavings, borings, turning, cutting, etc. is Guide 170 emergency response. Fire, do not use water foam or CO2 dousing metallic fires with water generating hydrogen gas, extremely dangerous explosion hazard, particularly if the fires contain environment, building, cargo, or hold. Use dry sand, graphite powder, dry sodium chloride, base extinguisher G1 and metal X powder. Combine smothering metal fires preferably rather than applying water. Move container with the fire area if you can do without risk. Fire involved with a tank or car, trailer loads. If possible, extinguish, protect surroundings, and allow fire to burn itself out. Spill or leak, eliminate ignition source, smoking or flames or spark the flames. Immediate area, do not touch, walk through spilled material. Stop leak if you can do without risk. Prevent entry into waterways, sewers, basements, confined area. First aid, ensure medical personnel aware of materials involved with precaution, protect themselves, move fresh air, call 911. Artificial respiration, victim is not breathing, administer the oxygen, breathing is difficult, move with isolate contaminated clothing and shoes. Case of the contact substance, immediately flush skin, eyes, and running water for at least 20 minutes. Keep calm, victim calm and warm. Our Guide 171, substance load, moderate hazard, fire explosion. Some may burn with but ignite readily. Containers may be exploded, heated. Some may be transported hot. For UN 3508, be aware of possible short-circuiting product transported in charged state. Your health inhalation material may be harmful. Contact may cause burns and skin to the eyes. Inhalation asbestos dust may be damage effective to the lungs. Fire producing irritating, corrosive, toxic gases. Some liquids produce vapors that may cause dizziness, suffocation. Runoff of the fire control may cause pollution. Public safety call, emergency telephone number, shipping papers. First shipment is not available. They refer to the appropriate telephone number listed inside the back cover. Immediate spill locations: 150 for liquid, 75 for solids. Keep unauthorized personal waste. Start uphill and upwind, upstream. Protective clothing, wear positive pressure, self-contained breathing apparatus. Structural firefighting clothing will only provide limited protection. Evacuation, see Table 1, isolation, protective area, action distances for highlighted material in green. If tank, rail car, tank, truck is involved in fire, isolate within 1/2 mile in all directions. Evacuate within 1/2 mile in all directions. Alright, substances, low, moderate hazard. Emergency response, fire, dry chemical, CO2, water spill, regular foam, large, water spray, fog. Regular foam, do not scatter spill material with high pressure water streams. Move container from the fire area if you can do without risk. Tag fire, control water later disposal. Fire involved with the tanks, cool container, flood quantity of the water until the well after fire is out. Withdraw immediately in the case of the rising sound. For any safety devices, discolorization tank, always stay away from the tanks and engulfed in fire. Spill or leak, do not touch, walk through spilled material. Stop leak without risk. Prevent dust, avoid inhalation of asbestos dust. Small dry spill, clean shovel limitations, you clean dry container and cover clothes loosely. Move containers from spill area. Small spills, pick up same with other non-combustible absorbent material, place containers. And later disposal, large spills, tank fire, heavy liquid spills, later disposal, cover powered spills, plastic sheet taps, minimize spreading, prevent entry, waterways, sewer, basement, confined areas. First aid, ensure medical awareness of the material that involved with the taking the precaution, protect themselves, move the victim to fresh air, call 911, emergency, give artificial respiration, victim not breathing, administrative oxygen, breathing is difficult, remove the isolate, contaminated clothing, shoes, indicate with the contact substance, immediately flush the eyes, skin and eyes, running water at least 20 minutes. Alright, 172, gallium and mercury. Or a potential hazard. Inhalation, vapors, contact substance will result in the contamination, potential harmful effects. Fire will produce irritating, corrosive, toxic gases. Fire explosion, non-combustible substance does not burn, may react upon heating, producing corrosive and toxic fume runoff, may pollute waterways. Call emergency response telephone number, shipping paper. The shipping paper is not available. No answer may refer to the appropriate telephone number listed inside the back cover. Immediate precautionary measure, isolate spill leak area with at least 150 feet after all the directions. Stay uphill and upstream. Keep unauthorized personnel out of the way. Protective clothing, wear positive pressure, self-contained breathing apparatus. Structural fighter, protecting clothing only provide limited protection. Evacuation, large pill container initial downwind evacuation with 330 feet. Fire when any large containers involved, consider initial evacuation at 1/3 mile in all directions. Alright, Gallium Mercury Guide 172. Emergency response fire. Use extinguishing agent suitable for the type of the surrounding fire. Do not direct water over the heated metal. Spill or leak. Do not touch walk for the spilled material. Do not damage containment with the spilled material unless for the wearing of appropriate protective clothing. Stop leak if you can do without risk. Prevent entry with the water, waste, sewer, basement. The confined area. Do not use steel, aluminum, tools, equipment. Cover with earth and sand, non-combustible material with a plastic sheet with a minimized spreading in contact with the rain. For mercury, use a mercury spill kit. Mercury spills areas are subsequently treated with calcium sulfide, calcium sulfide, and sulfide with sodium triosulfate. Sodium triosulfate when washes neutralizes the residual mercury. Alright, first aid, ensure the medical and personnel awareness material involved to take precaution, protect themselves, move fresh victim, fresh air, call 911, artificial respiration, victim not breathing, administer oxygen, breathing is difficult, remove isolating contaminated clothing and shoes, cave the contact with the substance, immediately flush eyes in running water with at least 20 minutes, keep victim calm and warm. Or absorb gases and toxics. 173, health. Toxic may be fatal. Inhaled and absorbed through the skin. Vapors may be irritating. Contact with the gas may cause burn injury. Fire may produce irritating growth of toxic gases. Run off the fire control may cause pollution. Some gases may burn and may be ignited by heat or spark, but not readily due to low transportation pressure. May form explosive mixtures of air. Oxides may ignite combustibles, but not readily due to low transportation pressure. Vapors may travel through ignition flashback. Some of these materials may recently react violently with water. Cylinders exposed with the fire may vent release toxic flammable gas through the pressure relief device. Run off to create fire hazards. Public safety, call emergency response telephone number. The shipping paper is not available. No answer. The refer to appropriate telephone number listed inside of the back of the cover. Immediate precautionary isolate pet spills leak air within 330 feet in all directions. Keep unauthorized personnel away. Stay upwind, uphill, upstream. Many gases are heavier than air and will spread along the ground, collect in low confined areas. Sewer basement tanks. Ventilate closed spaces before entering. With protective clothing, wear positive pressure, self-contained breathing apparatus, chemical protective cleaning, spill recommended manufacturer provide with little or no thermal protection. Structural fires, protective clothing provide limited protection for this fire situation. Only at the time of the effective spill situation, direct contact substance is possible. Alright, evacuation, see Table 1, initial isolation, protective action, distances, several small packages or trailers involved in the fire, isolate up to 1 mile in all directions, also consider an initial evacuation 1 mile in all directions. Absorb gases in toxic fire, do not extinguish leaking gas of fire unless the leak can be stopped, small fire, dry CO2, water spray, alcohol resistant foam for UN 35, 15, 35, 18, 35, 20, use water only, do not try chemical, CO2 or halon. Large fire, water spray, fog, alcohol-resistant foam. Do not get water inside the containers. Move the container from fire area if you can do without risk. Damaged cylinders should be handled only by specialists. Fire involving several small packages, rail or trailer. Firefight, maximum distance, unmanned hose holders, monitor nozzle, cool containers, flooding quantities of water with the well after the out. Fire is out. Do not direct water over the source of the leak and save the device to withdraw, immediately causing rising sound, venting safety devices, discolorization tank. Always stay away from the tank. Engulfed in fire. Alright, spill or leak. Some gases of the flame will eliminate with all ignition sources from the immediate area. Flammable gases, all equipment that handle with the product ground of all encapsulation vapor protective clothing should be worn. Spills leak with no fire for oxidizing substances. Keep combustible away from the spilled material. Do not touch walk through spilled material. Stop leak if due without risk. Do not direct water with a spill or source of a leak. Use water space, right, to reduce vapor. Revert vapor cloud, allowing water to run off contact spilled material. Prevent entry in the waterways, sewer, basement, confined areas. Isolate until the gases disperse. Alright, first aid. Ensure medical personnel are aware of the material involved in taking precaution of themselves. Move victim into the fresh air. Call 911 emergency medical system. Artificial respiration. Victim is not in breathing. Do not use mouth-to-mouth. Victim ingestive and inhaled substance. Give it artificial respiration aid. Pocket mask. Equipped with one-way valve with a proper respiratory medical device. Administer oxygen, breathing difficult, move the isolate contaminated clothing and shoes. In case of the contact substance, immediate flush skin and eyes with running water at least 20 minutes. In case of the burns, immediately cool skin after long as possible. Cold water, do not move the clothing and adhering skin. Keep calm and warm. Keep victim under observation. Effects of contact inhalation may be delayed. 174. Absorb gas, flammable or oxidizing. Potential hazard, fire or explosion. Some gases be ignited with heat or spark and flames, but not readily due to low transportation pressures. Substance due does not burn, but will support combustion. Vapors may travel in source ignition. Flashback cylinders, when exposed to fire, may vent releasable flammable gas through pressure relief devices. Containers may explode, exposed to prolonged direct flame impingement. Held vapors cause dizziness, asphyxiation without warning. Some may be irritating. Irritated high concentration contact with the gas may burn injuries. Fire may produce irritating toxic gas. Public safety. Call emergency response telephone number. Shipping paper. The shipment of paper is not available. To refer to the appropriate telephone number listed inside of the back cover. Immediately precautionary measures. Isolate spill leak area up to 330 feet in all directions. Keep unauthorized people on the way. Stay upwind, uphill, upstream. Make gases that are heavier and will spread around the ground, collecting in confined areas of sewer basement tanks, ventilated closed spaces before entering. Protective clothing, wear pressure, positive pressure, self-contained breathing apparatus, structural fire, protected clothing with only limited protection. Evacuation, large spill, consider initial downwind evacuation of a half mile. If several smallish package or rail or trailer is involved in the fire, isolate up to 1 mile in all directions. Also consider an initial evacuation of 1 mile in all directions. Alright, your absorbed flammable and or oxidizing Guide 174 fire. Do not extinguish the leak gassing fire unless the leaks can be stopped using extinguishing agent suitable for the type of the surrounding fire, small fire, dry CO2, water spray, fog, move containers, and fire without risk. Damaged cylinders should be handled only by specialist fire involving several small package rail, trailer, fire from maximum distance, unmanned hose holders, monitor nozzle cold containers, flooding quantities of water and well after the fire is out. Do not direct water and source of the leaking and safety devices with intermediate leak so rising sound, venting safe devices, discolorization tank. Always stay away from the tanks engulfed in fire. For massive fire, use of unmanned hose holders, monitor nozzle, if possible, withdrawn in the air, let fire burn. Spill or leak flammable gas, eliminating all ignition source, no smoking flames, spark flames from an immediate area, oxidizing substance, keep combustible wood paper away from spilled material. All equipped with the handling product to be grounded. Do not touch it without spilled material. Stop leak. If you can do it without risk, use water spray to reduce vapors, divert vapor cloud, allowing water to run off the contact spilled material. Do not direct water and spill towards the leak. Prevent spreading of the vapors. Sewer ventilation system. Find an area's ventilated area. Isolate areas until gas is dispersed. Ensure medical personnel are aware of the materials involved with the precautions to protect themselves. Move the victim fresh air. 911. Give artificial respiration. Victim is not breathing. Administrative oxygen. Breathing is difficult. Remove isolation. Contaminated clothes and shoes. Case the burns immediately cool affected skin for as long as possible with cold water. Do not remove clothing if adhering to skin. Keep victim calm and warm. And then it goes over the notes. And then we'll introduction to the green tables. Alright, we'll cut the tape right there.